And the scene is set. About the time the prince returns to the Church of St. Augustine. He has just finished his meeting with the seneschal, the sheriff, and his newfound ally, the salubri, who came to town. The one who has definitely perked his interest. His thoughts, his plans, how this new arrival is going to fit into his goals for the city and at large are interrupted when his ghoul hastily answers the phone after a few yes, he is indisposed. All right, I will let him know. He turns to the prince and says, "This is your charge, sir. She says she has some important news." On which the prince tells the ghoul to inform her to meet him at the church, upon which he will say that she is already there. The prince will just stare at the ghoul before he sort of looks down before answering, "He'll be there shortly," and then hanging up the phone. After that awkward moment, the two continue on their way towards the church. And within a couple of minutes, they arrive on the steps leading up into the main doorway, and there, I'm assuming they'll find Emma Bellefleur.
Yeah, just actually leaning on the side in front of the door. Emma will be waiting. She's actually worried about her friend Calliope, so she'll be trying to not look worried though. Would that be meditation, what is it, manipulation plus subterfuge?
Manipulation plus subterfuge. Yeah, that should work.
Oh yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
My perception and empathy would be about 6. Let us see if the prince is able to pick up that something is troubling his young magister friend. Or there must be some reason why she has called this urgent meeting.
Nope.
Well, only 1 success, so he knows that she's trying to cover up something, but he cannot tell whether or not it is worry. It's just he can recognize that look, that trying to maintain a level expression. He would actually smile at that. Good, she's learning. She's learning well. His little magister is growing up, as it were. But he turns to his ghoul and says, "Marcus, the door, please." At which case, Father Marcus will bow his head and hurry up the stairs past Miss Bellefleur after giving a politeful nod to acknowledge her, and very hastily pulling out the keys and starting to open the door. The prince will begin to walk up to Emma and say, "I was not expecting to hear back from you this soon. Do you have any news into the troubling events that have been plaguing the city? It seems our escaped convict," as he sort of looks around, making sure there aren't any kind passing by, "has been causing quite a lot of a stir amongst the city."
And she'll say, "Oh yes, you will not believe what me and my Rose friend saw last night."
Oh, I have been around for quite some time. I am certain that it is nothing that I will be unfamiliar with.
She smiles. You can see she smiles at that, and she kind of goes, "Hold on to that thought." And then she walks in.
Was that a bit of cheek? That's new. He will take a mental note of that and then follow inside, allowing her to have that little quip. Consider it a reward for her reining in her emotions, her exercise in subtlety. A good turn deserves another. So he heads down with Miss Bellefleur to the night chapel, and among the pews, I believe Emma would sit while he dons his place at the throne. Looking down upon his fellow magister, he gestures for her to give an account of what happened.
And she will say, me and Calliope and I visited the two places in which the violences occurred. We first went to the church. Just a sec. We just went first to the church, and we went to the barn inside. It seemed all the cows there had died, as it said on the news, and we saw a drawing. Well, I could see it. Calliope saw a drawing on the wall in the barn. Something that looks like that. He put and goes. This picture was taken at the second place in the bar, and she'll just a sec. Okay, there we are. She'll show you something that looks like something that looks like that, except the one that's in the pictures, you can see it's been like rubbed off or something, and it's on a wall. It's like looks it's on a brick wall, kind of thing. Like old brick or stone wall, something that. And she goes from. And she goes that, and in the barn and this is where I'm sure I'll surprise you. We were attacked by a horde. By what we could see, there was at least 100 of them. Zombie cows.
The prince is impassive looking. Again, that mask he places upon himself. He just simply says, continue, neither acknowledging whether or not that did get him, which unfortunately it did. But he's never one to admit when he's wrong.
Goes, we got out of those cows also seemed smart of all things. Calliope and I got up in the second level. They seemed to open the door of the farm and then climb the stairs to get to us. We jumped out the window and were caught by the police there. That's when she'll look and goes, Shelsmanga, is one of the cows just jumped and landed on one of the policemen.
What? As the prince is... His mask is starting to fall away, and you can see his anger starting to come through. Again, you can hear the faint sound of him gripping the sides of his throne as he is not pleased to hear that another police officer is dead in Reno, and so soon after the shooting.
And she'll say, then we tried to run away, and the cows then ate the old woman that must have owned the farm, and then proceeded to run. And I'm sorry about this. There's nothing we could do. We had to save ourselves, but they ate the other policemen. It seems as though that the bodies still haven't been discovered, strangely. After all, a whole day has passed and no one has seen the bodies. The cow seemed smart. I'm guessing they must have gotten rid of the bodies somehow. As weird as this sounds.
The prince sighs and leans back, putting his hand to his face in a contemplative manner.
She said, we thought there must be more to investigate and we would go back, but not on the same night.
Did you inform Miss Blackmoon or the Seneschal of these recent events?
Yes, I wrote a letter to the Seneschal.
Good. We are going to have to make sure that he clears up what happened. The good protectors of Reno's citizens are already on edge enough. The last thing we need is more cops winding up dead.
She'll say, then...
He mutters to himself, not even able to restrain himself. He is so angry.
We then went to the bar, and that's where the picture was taken. We managed to get inside, and we didn't. I think Calliope might have more, but all I was able to get was the picture. And we talked to the man, and from what he told us, apparently the night was going well until a group of people just walked in and started breaking stuff and just attacking people, as well as making this drawing that was there. He then tried to rub it out, but was unsuccessful.
And this person who was making the drawing, did you happen to get their description? A picture, perhaps? You've got to have something more than this. You were there when it happened.
So what was that?
Oh, he's basically saying, unless I misunderstood you, you guys were there when the fight broke out.
No, she said no. The bar owner told us about how the fight broke out.
Yeah, that was just me mishearing you then. In that case, the prince will say, did the barkeep get any description of the person who drew the symbol picture?
Because
something? It's a bar. There must be security cameras.
Guys, not sure they have security cameras. It was kind of a bar where she says it's a bar where not much people live around there. It's outside of town.
Right. I might have known. Festering hole for sin and vice.
Guys, he didn't see which one specifically made the drawing. There were too many of them, and they were, punching and breaking stuff. He was busy protecting his own bar.
We need to find out how this connects to that creature, because this is only making it stronger. I want those abominations destroyed on the farm, and I want those instigators caught and brought to justice. We need more information. We are crawling around in the dark right now, and that is unacceptable.
She'll say, of course.
You mentioned that you were with someone who accompanied you on this investigation.
My friend Calliope.
Ah, so you have been associating yourself with her. Good. Very good. I'm glad to see you were listening to my advice. It will do you well. Continue your investigation with Miss Tavelaris. Find out how those symbols are connected to this creature. I'd say it's high time that you and her had a good talk with Mr. Graves. Also, when you do, would you please deliver a message to Mr. Falcone? Tell him that I have decided to give a little incentive to our friend Mr. Graves. Every single time a officer of the law is killed due to this madness, I am going to be taking one of his teeth. So that is 2 so far.
She says, I will tell him. I'm not sure he will be pleased, but that's the point, I guess.
Oh, I do not intend for him to be pleased. I intend for this problem to be solved and the masquerade upheld. We cannot afford to have walking cows, rotting corpses, eating people. That is not something that can exist within the masquerade. It is a threat to all of us, let alone upkeeping a city with fights breaking out spontaneously. We cannot gain a hold of this city in such a state, not to mention that every single abomination that gets loose, every single fight is going to make putting down that fucker even harder. And I will not have Reno crumble to a ghost. A ghost, Emma.
She'll say, of course. Is there any news on how we can put him down?
There is, but I cannot tell you. Unfortunately, its powers, the ability to read your mind, to sift through it like a filing cabinet, picking up bits and pieces of information. If I told you and you came into contact with it, it could just simply pluck our plan out of your mind and it would be all for naught.
Okay,
So,
actually, here's the weird thing. It seemed it, at the same time, did and did not come in contact with me while I was at the bar. Well, here's the weird thing. It came into contact with Calliope, but not with me while I was right next to Calliope. Apparently, it seemed Calliope, after a while, after we got the information we needed out of the barkeep, it seemed Calliope saw something disturbing about him. She saw him, I guess she saw him as the spirit. She was talking to him as if he was a spirit. She didn't say anything that would break the masquerade, of course, but she seemed disturbed by him. So I managed to get her to snap out of it and get ourselves out. She was extremely disturbed till we got a safe distance away. She was disturbed. It seemed she was disturbed even after we got out of the bar, and for a little distance afterwards, she seemed scared, at least. But while she was disturbed and it seemed to look strangely at the barkeep, I just saw the normal barkeep that we had been talking to the rest for the few hour before that.
You need to bring this information to Mr. Graves. Find out if this will jog his memory about what this creature is capable of. Also, make sure that you get this information out of him before you inform Mr. Falcone of my little incentive to get dear Diedrich on point.
Shall I say, okay, I will.
There is also something else. There is a new kindred in this town. His name is James O'Malley. I want you and Miss Tavaloris to have him along the next time you investigate. He is a representative of the Balefire Coalition. You know who the Balefire Coalition are, Emma. Our allies in the theocracy.
Yes, the Salubri and the Cappadocians.
That's correct. This man is one of those lost clans, like dear Dietrich, except he is a Salubri. Not only that, but he is far more versed in the occult than even myself, which is saying a lot. Probably more well-versed in these matters than most people in the city. Have him with you. He has already been able to give some very crucial... Oh, as he pauses for a minute. No, that won't do. Damn it. Talk to him yourself. Talk to this Salubri. I will give you his contact number. Tell him what you told me. Tell him about what happened to Miss Tavalaris. See if this creature is able to just reach inside of somebody's mind. If it is limited, then we may be given more leeway with how we can trap it, and we do have a plan in the works. Speak with the Salubri, and then speak with Mr. Graves, preferably both. It is about time that our representative of the coalition meets the transgressor upon which he was sent to investigate.
Oh, so small, because very well. Where is this Mr. O'Malley from? Just curious.
I do not know his place of origin, but from what he told me, he had been traveling around the cities of Nevada for some time. I believe he was part of the researchers of the Balefire Coalition who came during the Week of Darkness. He just so happened to be the nearest one to Reno when I informed them that dear Diedrich had been delving into things that best not be delved into. So, any other questions?
Because talking about that Week of Darkness, how big was the area involved? Was it all around America?
No. From what we could tell, it was just the state of Nevada. roughly the state of Nevada. I know for a fact that it didn't encompass every single city within the state.
And this was the Cappadocians doing, or who started it?
No. The wake of darkness. Nobody knows what caused it, Emma. Nobody. But for an entire week, the sun was shrouded by a mystical darkness. It did not affect the earth, but we were able to walk during the day again. It was unnatural. It was otherworldly. It was like a dream.
Just smiled, guess I could see how how it could be good to go out during the day, but it could also become dangerous. It could get some of us could get cocky after a while, after not seeing the sun after so long.
It is more than that. That power, as far as we are aware, it is the first time that had ever happened. And we do not know what caused it.
And that just suddenly came into a stop.
Yes, just after the week's time, the darkness passed. The sun's rise hearkened the death sleep once more, and we could walk no more during the day. But I do not want to delve into this right now. If you wish to do some more research yourself, I encourage you. You can find a lot of information about it. It was quite the phenomenon that happened. I still actually think there's some kind scientists still poking around from that time. Oh, it was quite a chore trying to upkeep the masquerade during those long 7 days. 7 days.
I can imagine. I will retreat to my haven for now.
For what it is worth, I am glad you and Miss Tavelaris made it out of that infestation in one piece. I hope you will continue to succeed, for we need that more than ever in these nights, especially when our enemy seems to still be growing in strength. And our other enemies, well, our other enemies are patiently, or not, waiting.
And she'll say, well, and she'll bow. And she'll say, good evening, my prince.
Go with grace unto God, Emma Bellefleur.
And she'll walk away. And we'll say she's in the apartment, so she'll walk towards the apartment.
The prince will contemplate for a long time about the information that was given by Miss Bellefleur. A single shade was able to cause this much trouble. How the city was so woefully prepared, and how it shall show upon his legacy that they were not. For that is what it means to be prince. And with that, our scene will end. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.